In his book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek tells us that's the most important question that we can answer when we're setting our own direction. But when it comes to customer research, is there a better question to ask? We're going to take a look at that. But first, if you would please, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Understanding our customers' motivations is really important, especially when we're doing deep product research. And getting to the answer to the question, why, is critically important. But are there a better set of questions that you can use in order to get the real answer without introducing too much bias from your customers? Jay Cornelius, founder of 9 Labs, is going to talk about that with us today.
People are emotional animals, and we make a lot of decisions based on, or at least influenced by, emotion. One of the questions that we like to ask is, how would your, and this is where you could insert life or work or workflow or process, how would your thing change if this didn't exist? And the this in that context could be the thing that they're currently using, the software that they're currently using. So how would your life change if Salesforce didn't exist? Right? Oh God, this is a panic mode for me, right? Or for some people, they'd be like, oh my God, can you delete Salesforce? That would make things so much easier. Really? Tell me more about that, right? Because then they're going to get into the why. In our research, we really discourage asking why questions, because why questions put people in judgment. Because if you ask somebody why they did something, then they're going to answer you trying to validate their own decisions. They're not going to answer you for the rationale that led to that decision. So we always try to rephrase those questions as what questions. So what led you to do it that way? Or what are the reasons that you do things that way? Or what stops you from doing it this way? Or what causes you to do it that way? Because then the judgment isn't on them. The judgment is on the criteria, the things that surround that decision. So in the case of excuse me, in the case of trying to figure out, like a superhuman, like, do we have an app people love? What would change if you had to go back to using Gmail, right? Oh, well, then I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. And those are going to be the hot button features for them, right? Because those are the things that are front of mind. If you go to, and Jason, we can send the link out later. If you go to loopsbook.com/resources, that's a cheat to get all the stuff that I mentioned in the book. And in there is a kind of a swipe file of interview questions that we use. There's some other good stuff in there about how to ask. We separate these questions into a couple of buckets, right? There's kind of introductions, which is, hey, nice to see you. Oh, I like your shoes, or something like that. And then there's refiners and explorers. And so what we recommend people do is use a couple of key phrases. One of those key phrases is, tell me more about that. When you hear something that's interesting, tell me more about that, explain that. And then another great one is, here's what I heard you say. This is something that comes out of cognitive therapy. Here's what I heard you say, tell me where I'm wrong. And then one of the best ones in all research, what am I missing? What am I missing here? Here's what I see, here's what I've heard you say, what am I missing? And what those things do is they enable whoever you're interviewing, whoever you're talking to kind of repeat things back to you using different words, which helps you really get to the core of what they mean. One of the fundamental challenges in all research and all human communication is that we think that our high-functioning brain communicates directly with the high-functioning brain of the other person, and that's just not true. All of that has to go through something called the lizard brain. We talk about this in the book too. And the way people word things is different based on all types of factors. It's based on their psychological profile, their upbringing, their language skills. There's all types of things that can influence how people communicate. And if I say something with my high functioning brain, just like I'm doing right now, it's not going directly to your high functioning brain and being translated into directly the thought that I had that generated that language. It just never works that way. So there's always a kind of an interpretation, if you will, of what people truly mean. And the more different ways you can get them to say the same thing, the better you can triangulate to get that true meaning of what they're trying to say.
And we're building an entire series here at Product Coffee on the topic of research for product managers. So go ahead and subscribe today so you don't miss any of them as they become available. Well, that's it for now. See you next time.